Welcome to Onward Lebanon. I'm Isaac Sievers, Lebanon City School Superintendent. I'm excited to be joined this month by several members of our music department in Lebanon City Schools. Onward Lebanon is a program about our schools, our programs, our students, our staff, really what makes us special. And so we're excited this morning to be greeted by you guys today. Thanks for being with us. And we'll just start with you, Michelle, if you want to introduce yourself, what it is that you do at Lebanon City Schools, what programs that you lead.
Sure. My name is Michelle Crockett, and I teach high school band and the junior high band, and then help out with the marching band.
Awesome. What about you, Wade?
My name is Wade Cummins. This is my 27th year teaching. I'm currently teaching junior high choirs, 6 rehearsals a day, and then music department coordinator as well.
Awesome.
I'm Will Kuhn. I teach music tech and TV production at the high school.
Great. So one of the things we just want to get in today, kind of overarching questions here a little bit to begin with before we get into individual programs. But one of the things that I really think that we do a good job of at Lebanon City Schools is finding opportunities for kids to find their niche, right? A community to belong to, a family type of atmosphere. And music for so many kids is that at Lebanon schools. And so really just kind of thinking through the strong tradition of music education at Lebanon City Schools. I'm going to start with you, Will, and say, like, how would you describe, the spirit of the music program, right? Is there a sort of a feeling about the music arts and arts in general at Lebanon schools that you would characterize?
Yeah, I mean, the music program at Lebanon is, it's eclectic. It's not focused on any one program. There's pretty good balance between all the different branches, whether it's the performing ensembles, choirs, bands, orchestras, and also the slightly non-performing things like music tech. There's a lot of cohesive, there's kids jumping between those programs to get kind of a holistic experience. And we have a pretty decent number of kids who go on to pursue music after high school and pursue it in some kind of professional capacity.
So one of the things I think is special as I sit here and think about it, all three of you actually have your own children that participate or have participated in our music program. So just maybe talk about that, Michelle, from a parent perspective. What are your kids participating in, and what does it mean to them to have that community and that feel?
Sure. Most people think that because I'm a music teacher, my kids don't have a choice whether to be in music.
Mine didn't for a while, right?
We certainly said you got to try it for a year, and then you can make a decision, because you don't know if you like something unless you try it, right? So they all tried, and they went the band route, and they did some choir. And my kids are involved in sports as well, and they kind of stuck with the band path, which as the band person, I love seeing my kids. But it's, wow, what a personality and a shaper of who they are and what they've learned. And my kids, as they're getting ready to graduate, are pursuing, music amongst other things in their paths. And yeah, it's a big part of their life, music and, the sports that they're involved in. So That's what I love about our music department, is being willing to encourage our kids to do more than one thing. As Will said, jumping across all areas.
Yeah. How about you, Wade?
I greatly enjoyed the years where I had my own children in my classes. My oldest, he is a music minor at the college level, sang in singers and cantari for several years. And he tried band for a year or two or so, and has missed it ever since. My youngest, he is in cantari now and has been doing orchestra for 4 or 5 years and planning to go to the Career Center next year. So he's told me that, orchestra and choir is what he's going to miss the most, because that's like a family at school.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, my kids are both really heavily involved in music programs. My daughter, who graduated last year, was drum major in the band, and play flute and wind ensemble, and real heavily involved. She also plays bass guitar for me, so that's kind of fun to see, like, the serious side and the fun side, and have these different like modes you can be in. My son's kind of the same way, really heavily involved in percussion and, marching, snare, leadership, stuff like that is really big. And then comes and plays the drum machine for me. It's like you have the fun thing and the serious thing for both of them, and they both really enjoyed it.
They're really awesome opportunities for creative outlets for kids, and the ability, like I said, to kind of belong. And I think one of the things we've talked about, even from the athletic standpoint in some of these discussions, is in different groups, sometimes you have different roles, right? And I think this gives you the ability to see some of those things differently, and so I really appreciate that about our music program in general. We have a lot of students that participate. I mean, our numbers are typically pretty high, for a long time have been recognized as one of those communities that's really a really good community for music education. So, do one of you want to talk a little bit about the opportunities that are available? You talk about going in and out of them a little bit, but any idea how many kids are participating in music programs, or how big are the junior high choirs? Some of those things that kind of give an idea of the scope of the things that we're talking about here.
I don't know that I can speak on behalf of the bands and the orchestras or music tech, but I know that just between grades 6 through 8 in choir, we've got just a little over 300 students involved in the choir program.
Yeah, that's like 37-38% of our entire student body, at the junior high. That's a lot of students there.
And I'll add to that average participation in music programs at the high school level is about 20% at most other high schools. And, on a decent year, we're hitting about 50% if we're firing on all cylinders. So I don't think we've hit that past COVID yet, but we're getting there. And we've been there for quite some time, hitting around that 50% mark. Just that's a kid is in a music class of some kind. It doesn't mean they're full blast music. And that's what I really like about our offerings is you get some of those kids that maybe don't have time to be in band or don't have time to devote to learning an instrument or doing a bunch of concerts on top of their sports schedule, but they can get reached by the music department, where at most other area high schools, they would have been attritioned out of that program already.
Yeah. I think about my own kid, right? I've got 2 kids at the high school, one at the junior high. My high school son is involved in cantare. My high school daughter did junior high choir, and now she's taking classes with you in the music tech, and taking advantage of College Credit Plus opportunities with that as well. And so she didn't think that would be something that she enjoyed. It was intriguing to her, and now in year 2 was like, I kind of like this. And so I think it gives opportunities for them to experience music in a different way.
That's
right?
what we like to see, and that's exactly.
And marching band is a big commitment, right? Cantare, singers, those things are big commitments, sometimes even outside of school. And so finding ways for kids to express themselves and be a part of things. We have a great program, and I'm really, really proud of what we have to offer, and excited for that. So one of the things that comes with running programs is we can't just do it with the 3 of you, or you throw in a couple other people and that are working with our students as well. But it takes community involvement. It takes parents. So we'll start with you, Wade, in terms of, can you talk a little bit about the parent involvement that goes with the choir program? Maybe ways parents can get involved if they aren't, and what does the Booster organization bring to your guys' group?
Well, our booster organization is LCPO, Lebanon Choir Parents Organization, and they have elected officers and monthly meetings and all that. And so we do, the students do a lot of various fundraisers that the parents bring ideas to the table. And then those funds are used to support the choirs grades 6 through 12. However, any of us directors have a need or whatever. So like, for instance, we did several fundraisers over the last few years, and the program's grown to the point that we needed more robes. And I asked LCP, I'm like, we need more robes. And so then that was a challenge, because the robes we had, the manufacturer was out of business.
Yeah, they've been there a while, haven't they?
Yeah, we went to another manufacturer and we got black robes. And so the last concert in March was the first time that the new black robes for one choir was used. That was just a huge, huge support of the junior high program from LCPO. Like I said, monthly meetings, and if your child is in choir, you're a member of LCPO and more than welcome to attend any of those meetings and help out however you see fit.
Awesome. How about
Similar
the
with the band, we have LBPA, Lebanon Band Parents Association, and they are there just to support and help make all of our band students experience even more. And so it also serves grades 6 through 12, and any band family is automatically a part of it, meeting once a month. And Our junior high just participated in a Kings Island festival with music in the parks, and LBPA bought a Kings Island ticket for every student who didn't have a season pass so that they could go to that. And the 8th grade band did great. We ranked 1 out of this. We found out 7 other junior high bands. So we were really excited by that.
Some of us that like to go to Kings Island should have probably checked the schedule and realized that there were going to be like 6,000 or 50,000 junior high kids there. Made for a busy day, but it was an awesome opportunity for those kids.
Yeah, so they just do so much for us. A
lot of buses in the parking lot that day.
Yes, there was.
Yeah. So anything else in terms of just community engagement or anything that you can think of that really helps promote the program, and the programs give back to the community as well?
I can speak on behalf of the band. Something that we talk about with our students is how much we serve the community, and that's our way to volunteer and give back with the Memorial Day Parade, July 4th Parade. The Y invites us every year to go do their Veterans Day program. The VFW invites us to go do their Veterans Day program. So just getting out there is great. And so those are some of my favorite concerts, to see the community like that. And then, every Friday night football game, we're there supporting everybody. So
we're on the brink of like concert season too. And our concerts are free and open to the public. And we encourage community members to come and visit. Usually pretty big turnouts at our concerts. So I know orchestra concert is tomorrow night. There's a choir concert Monday night of next week, and Tuesday night of next week. When is your band concert?
High school band's this Thursday at 7:30, and next Thursday is the junior high at 7. So yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add to this question?
Yeah, and Nightwave is on May 15th. So this is my answer to all of that is our community involvement is a little different. The shows that we'll play are typically outside of Lebanon, where this Friday, we're going to the Contemporary Arts Center downtown Cincinnati to do a show and some DJ sets there. And the shows that we put on with the music tech kids are designed by the students, and they're for the students and promoted by the students. And it's kind of this kid run thing that is, it's very different feel from the traditional concerts. That was kind of the design of it. So they end up making their own community, and those members, people that are in the audience end up being more involved in actually putting the show on later in their high school career, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome. So I want to jump into some ensemble specific questions. So we'll start with band, and you, Michelle. Marching band, you talked a little bit about Friday nights and things like that. It's always a highlight. What are some of the standout moments from this past school year that you think are kind of worth pointing out as we look back on the school year that's happened?
So with marching band, very successful. We were in class 3A, and we went to the championship of sorts contest, and made the finals, which was really exciting. The band hasn't made the finals in quite some time, so to be able to move into a final placement was really exciting. I think one of the biggest moments was a student. We were talking to them about the season and asking them, hey, what was your favorite part of the whole season? And, with the trophies and all that thing, we would thought that would be what they said. But one student said, oh, my favorite part were the meals that we had. Before we went to a contest, we all sat down, and it was like I was eating with my family. And that's what was my takeaway. They were a true family. They had meals together, and sponsored by LBPA. But it was just that was great, that community that we built amongst ourselves.
Yeah, this year's crew was really resilient and rallied around each other, and it was really a pretty exciting thing to see as the year progressed. How resilient's a good word, right? In terms of facing challenges and overcoming them this year. And so we're very proud of those efforts, right? And to make some finals and to place in some things was really exciting thing for them.
It was great. And then pep band is fun. The basketball games, we perform at 10 of them, and those are just fun events to go do.
So it falls under the band side of things, but winter drumline. Winter Guard, things like that. Tell me a little bit about those.
Wow, they had some great seasons as well. Our drumline started off in one class, and they were doing so great, and they got moved into an upper level class, which brought some stress. But the kids really stuck together and kept pushing on, and were competing, at higher levels. So that was a change. But again, the resilience and just like, hey, this is where we are. We got to do it. Just good life skills, right?
Yeah.
Guard did great.
I thought the community show that we had,
Yes.
like things were not going well. They just went with it, right? They just went with it, and they celebrated at the end like it was a normal show.
Right.
And then you're like, we're doing it again. We got it figured out. So I mean, like those lessons are things that they're a story they'll tell, and be a lesson that they learned, right? Like
life skills.
I used to sing a lot with my family when we were kids growing up, and my mom would always tell us, if you mess up the words, don't let them know, because they don't know you messed them up,
exactly.
right? Like how the show goes on.
They don't have the music in front of them.
Right?
They're watching your face.
In front of them, right?
You can act it out.
You got to go with it. So
for sure.
I guess one of the things that I think about is, how do you balance within the band program competition, school spirit, marching band type of thing, pep band type of things, and then the music education side of it, right? Like, are there times and places for it, or do you weave it all together throughout? Like, how is that big picture program of teaching kids music, school spirit, community pride stuff, and then let's go compete on a Saturday, play into that? Is any?
I think for me, it's all part of one overall thing, and are we trying to hit all of those things? If you sense that morale down, then we need to focus on building that back up. Or when we go to compete, are we really going for a trophy? Or are we really going to do our best score? Like, my daughter's a swimmer, and for her, it's I'm in a lane to beat my best score. It's about me. And so for us as a band, we try to focus on let's just improve. And then the trophies are just, fun, but is that really what we're about? And
clearly for the kids, it's about the experiences also, right? Like they want the experience of spending a whole day at West Claremont out in the sun and enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
So anything, last thing, band side of this, what do we have to look forward to next year? Anything that changes or excitement that you want to talk about?
Well, we're excited about our marching band show, which has already been announced. So that football crowd will get to see it develop as the time goes on. But we're getting our music here in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
So we'll be working on that all summer. So our theme is steampunk. Steampunk, which is kind of a literary genre. And what you're going to see on the field is like the Victorian era with the industrial area time period. Music, we got a little Coldplay that's going to be happening.
Nice. Something that will...
you're going to definitely recognize that.
Recognize it?
Yeah, some music
I feel like those
from
shows are much better for the people in the bleachers
if
too,
they
right?
Recognize it.
Yeah, if they know what they're listening to, it's easier to pay attention
to.
Yeah.
So everybody's really excited about the fall season.
Steampunk. I look forward to it.
Yeah, we're excited.
I'll have to figure out a wig or something, for the
We got some goggles. We got some goggles. Actually, it would be really cool for you to wear.
It'd be fun. I'll have to check those out.
Yes.
Let's talk choir for real quick.
Yeah.
You talked a little about your junior high numbers, but give the listener, the watcher, a little bit of an idea of like what choirs do we have available for kids at all different music levels, right? I mean, are there, just give us a little idea of what kind of opportunities we have in the choral music side of things.
So choir starts at the 6th grade level. Kids can sign up for that, and they have rehearsal twice a week. And I think that this year was the first year that they'd had them broken apart into smaller groups, which makes things a little bit easier to facilitate. And then at the junior high, I teach 3 boys choirs. It's got 30-some students in each. 3 girls choirs has got 50-some students in each. We've seen our numbers for next year, and those numbers, grades 6 through 8, are going to be larger than what they are this year. Kids go on to the high school, and that's where there's all kinds of choices. Kids can be in gender ensembles. There's a men's choir that is unauditioned. You sign up, you're in. There's no audition process. There's treble choir. That's the women's choir. You sign up, you're in. No audition process. Yep. If you want to audition, you can audition for symphonic, which is an auditioned women's choir, or audition for the mixed choir that both of our kids are in, which is cantare, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. There is, well, this was just the second year of the new pop a cappella group called Harmony Heights. And then there's the after-school competition show choir called Lebanon Singers. Everything's after school. They do about 6 competitions a week. So there's plenty of opportunity in choir grades 6 through 8.
I was really impressed with the improvement and the difference between Harmony Heights from year 1 to year 2.
Oh, yes.
I mean, just phenomenal growth in that group, and it was exciting. I think we all have our pictures of like Pitch Perfect, and right. That for those of you who don't know what it is, it's like Pitch Perfect on the high school stage, right? Like, but the growth in that group was phenomenal from year 1 to year 2,
definitely.
And I think it was exciting to see that as another opportunity for kids, while also having really a good year with singers this year as well, and a great show. So anything in terms of thinking about this year's performances, any highlights or things you want to point out in terms of either competitions or the shows, and anything that you want to highlight from the year?
I know that Lebanon Singers was very close to making finals and multiple competitions this year. They're hoping to do so next year, of course. This was only the second year with our current leadership team. So they've improved greatly just since last year and looking for more improvements next year. Harmony Heights was planning on going to an a cappella festival, and well, they got canceled because of inclement weather that weekend. And high school choirs were planning on going to OMEA, and then our director, Mr. Beal, fell ill, and they weren't able to go. So
the competition thing,
right? It was
weather or illness this year really
it was a rough year from the competition perspective.
Yeah.
But the concerts have been terrific. I mean, the kids they put in all kinds of effort, and the concerts are always very pleasing to the audience members. At least from everything that I've heard.
There's nothing better than a good 4-part choir, in my opinion, right? Hearing voices blend, it's one of my favorite things to attend every year, and our concerts, and we all have great turnouts.
Yep. Definitely.
We have great turnouts. So what is something that, as you think about choir, right, and just the focus that you have for the kids, how do you help them grow not just as singers, but in confidence, working with a team, things like that? What are some focus areas there?
I think it's just preparation, repetition, doing the same thing. And at the junior high level, I'm trying to teach it as much like the voice as an instrument as possible. We do a lot of sight reading, incorporate a lot of music theory into it, just so that way the kids are as best prepared as possible for those audition groups at the high school. And I know there's a small percentage of them that go on and actually audition, but I want them to all feel like by the time they finish grade 8 that they're prepared, that they could audition if they wanted to, and know that they're confident enough that they would be able to make one of the audition groups. Yeah.
And having kids that have come through those choirs in a junior high, like the quality of what you put on a stage for a junior high choir, I've been to other school districts that they don't have that quality in some of their high school choirs. And so kudos to you in terms of the product that you put out. It is phenomenal, and my mom, who's a music person, every time, for the last 4 years, is like, I can't believe this is a junior high choir. So it's they're great, but you get a lot out of them as well. And so I want to take the opportunity to thank you for that, having now 3 kids that have come through your junior high choir program. So
keep sending them.
I'm done. I'm out. There are no more kids to send through. I've got one more year with Owen there. So and lastly, you will. I think most schools don't have a music tech department,
Correct.
right, or a teacher or a program. So in as quickly as possible here, because I know that you're the creator and the founder and wrote the textbook on this type of thing, but take me back to 2006 for a second. What was the vision for the program, and how has it evolved in the last, in the Reader's Digest version, right, of the vision, and how has the program evolved over the last 19 years?
I'll give you the TV safe version.
Yeah.
There was an opportunity to start a new class, and there were not that many examples for it in 2006. Accessible software for music production had just come out like a year beforehand. And we had an empty computer lab and an opportunity to start something. So at the time I was teaching junior high band, and I was into composition, using technology. I was a big techno fan in high school, and knew about all the tools and things, and saw the opportunity. It's like, you could do something a little different here that might attract a new audience. And get out of the same cycle of where a normal music program pumps in a lot of kids in 6th grade, and the pool gets smaller every year as they get towards senior year. And here's an opportunity to get them in at a totally different age and just get a whole new population excited. The thing I noticed right away, there's no filter on the door with a music tech class. So you're going to have some kids that are highly trained musicians next to a kid that was forced to be in there their senior year to graduate because they need an arts credit. And so all the projects have to be accessible and engaging for both of those levels. So the low floors and high ceilings thing they talk about in teacher training is like really on display in this class, because every project has to have that runway for the advanced kids and also have like a minimum viable product for the kids that are like able to do it, right? So from that, we were able to grow that into a full day of activity. We have 2 levels of that class. The second level this year became the first CCP class that CCM offers. So we're the first of that kind in that department. It's a pretty big music program at University of Cincinnati. And we also have the video production classes. We have just 2 of those. We have the film studies and global media. And a lot of the kids, global media is the upperclassmen group. And a lot of the kids have taken several of these classes by the time. So this is like its own community for a certain population of students. And it's really fun to see them all kind of find their niche, because some of them are way performers and some of them are good producers and some of them are more in the video content and some of them more into the audio stuff. And I have several kids this year that are going into media production or communications or some kind of major that melds these skills together. A lot of schools out there call it like electronic production design. It's not part of this department or that department. It's a lot of skills coming together, and it's really fun to see that.
That's awesome. I think the quality of product that kids could produce in the program is pretty amazing when we think about, one of the things that you haven't touched specifically about in name is the Drake Road Productions, but I think that's probably coming through your digital media and some of those other things. So like, what is Drake Road Productions? What are some things that kids are producing through that? Yeah,
so Drake Road Productions is a brand that we came up with that any of the content coming out of our studio or any of the events we run gets that logo on it. So I think the most familiar thing to people at LHS would be the Good Morning LHS, like the show you have to show in the morning that has the daily news on it. We produce another show called Team TV that's more of like an SNL style variety show that mixes in skits with documentary features about different clubs and things and tries to give more students a platform. And then the electronic music group's kind of the other outlet that's I tell the students, we have this style guide that I hand out at the beginning of the year. It's all written by students of, spanning like a 15-year period. Just everybody adds a page each year, and it's here's how we run everything. And it's like Team TV is the thing inside the district that people will know the most, and electronic music group's the thing outside of the district that people will know the most, because the shows we do with that are often outside of the city of Lebanon. We did a show in Indianapolis last month. We're doing a show this week in Cincinnati. I give talks about it at various conventions and things. Like I was at the NAMM show this year giving a talk about them. And that's a different kind of like, I think to the average person, they'd say this looks like a highly technical rock band kind of, but it melds music production, event production, performing into a thing that it's like this holistic touring experience where they have to be able to operate the show and perform the show. So it's kind of funny, like when we went to the Blue Chip Awards last week, one of the things that won an award was a filming project or like documentary about the band that they are all in, and they're performing, and they're like performing on the stage. And so it's like, you see, oh, those are the same kids that were holding the camera. How are they doing all these different things? And a lot of the skills are related. So we're a unique place in that we interrelate those skills really, like from design, where a lot of places it'd be siloed off into different departments.
So one of the things when I first got here 4 years ago, Mr. Butler explained to me is like, there's a couple programs you need to know about that we're not going to touch and we're not going to do anything with, right? Like, and this is one of those things. It's grown, and it does bring a lot of positive attention to the district, and it's something that, again, that continues to put our name out there in a good way. And so thank you for that. I had like 5 questions I was going to ask you, and I asked you 2,
Sure.
but you covered all 5 of them because I think they're also connected, right? And there are great opportunities. I heard you talk about kids that are going on to do this at the college level, and we have kids that are, one of the things I love is when a band kid says, I want to be a band director, or a choir kid says, I want to be a choir teacher.
Yeah.
And so I think that speaks to the program. So kind of as we wrap some things up here, we just think about students in general, and because you guys are all doing this because of the kids, right? Music is such a great way for kids to have an outlet and an opportunity to express themselves, but also to bring kids together and to create some teams and that may not be interested in sports teams. Like our kids are participating in sports and in music, right? In some situations, but that's not the same thing for every kid. And so just, a big picture, right? Philosophically think a little bit about here, like what are some things besides music that you want your kids to learn as a result of being in your program? Like, what are we hoping this shapes kids in future a little bit in terms of, confidence or discipline or some of those types of things? Is there anything that you think about like, man, that's why I went into this?
I think that there's a lot of just adult world job skill things that can be learned by being in a musical ensemble, much like being on a sports team. I mean, you're learning teamwork. You're learning how to meet deadlines. We have concerts. You're learning how to work together and accept and embrace people of different backgrounds and so on, above and beyond just the musical aspect of it. I mean, these are skills that, transfers over into the adult work world, or just the idea of commitment, follow through, and finishing what you've started and doing it for a whole year, or who knows, multiple years.
Yeah. How about you?
We do a lot of creative projects and a lot of whiteboarding, and the skill of giving and receiving feedback is huge in our program. And kids have to be trained to, know what feedback is valuable and what to follow, and also to start making things to satisfy their own requirements rather than trying to get a grade or trying to please the teacher necessarily. It has to be holistically, who's this show for, who's this concert for, and what's it going to feel like when we put this on stage. They really wrestle with that stuff. And with job stuff, a lot of the skills are transferable that we teach. When we're talking in music industry land mode, it's like you don't have to be on stage to be in the music industry. There's so many jobs. Every one of these companies has accountants, has lawyers, has business people, and working in entertainment is a huge part of that. So a lot of what we do is focused on the performance and the product, but just the support of that and how that all comes together. Those are all skills the kids are learning.
That's awesome.
We always laugh that for band rehearsals, if you're not 15 minutes early, then you're late. It's what a lot of students say. They take that to their jobs in the future. Like, they never show up on time. Like, they always get there early because they've been trained that they're late. And then agree with both of what they were saying about their programs. It's same with band. And, unlike sports where, hey, if you're not cutting it, you're benched. We don't bench anybody. We're all in it. And instead of giving that person a hard time, why don't you know your part? Help that person. Yeah. Get over there and work together. Because we're all going to be on stage together performing. So, that's been a pretty cool part.
That's awesome. Yeah. I really appreciate your guys' time today. Appreciate the passion that you have for the programs that you lead. It's evident in seeing the finished product, but also for me to get a little chance to peek behind the curtain every once in a while and see the heart and the passion and the hard work that goes into it is exciting for me to see as a music fan myself, a fan of the arts, but also a parent who has kids in your programs. It's great for me to see the passion behind that. And it's one of the reasons why we wanted our kids to participate in music programs as well, because it's not just about singing on pitch. That's important. Don't get me wrong, right? It's important, but it's not just about that. And so I just appreciate what you guys do. I appreciate this is for me a great picture of what it looks like to build community as well, right? Where the school is interacting with the community supporting the school, the kids are building community within their own groups themselves. We try to focus on those things. We try to highlight them when we see them, but they're best laid out, in my opinion, through athletic teams and music ensembles, because they spend so much time together around a common goal, around a common focus, and there is a culminating experience, right? There's something where they can say, like, we did that together. And I think those are exciting things for kids and touch points. They look back and say, remember that musical we did? Remember that thing that we did together? Those are things that are gonna last a lifetime. So thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you so much for joining us this month on Onward Lebanon. I hope you have a great day. I'm Isaac Seaver signing off.